Welcome to the First Time Home Buyers Program, your information guide to owning your first home. We're glad you're with us in taking this first step, and you're probably asking yourself why we're taking all of this time to educate you on the market. The answer's simple. It's a mess out there. All that misinformation for first-time home buyers, from lender programs, down payment assistance programs, bad credit specials, it can all be confusing. Here we say this: no myths, no misinformation, only truth. Ready to get started? Good. The first thing we want to get across to you is that if you have not owned a home in the last 3 years, you are legally considered a first-time home buyer. Sounds funny to say that because literally you're not. But because of the way the market works, you are. Secondly, there's something you have to understand about buyer-seller transactions, and this is what makes the First-Time Home Buyers Program so important. 70% of those transactions in the real estate market happen to be with first-time home buyers. I repeat, 70%. Here's another figure for you. 98% of those transactions involve a home loan. Why? Because most of those transactions involve the need for financing. It's typically very difficult to pony up the cash up to $150,000 just to buy that home. Hence why a home loan often does the trick. Home loans are crucial to understand given the fact that the lender, the gatekeeper of the home loan, matters the most. That lender is the one who will decide whether or not you'll get that home loan, successfully buying that house. So really the key to becoming a first-time home buyer is simple. How do we convince a lender to agree to loan us the money? We'll break this up into 3 categories for you. What do lenders look for? What's in a house payment? And what goes into the home buying process? At this moment, we're going to focus on the first category. What do lenders look for? I get it, guys. It should be simple. You know you're reliable and you've made payments on time, so it really shouldn't be hard to just give your word to a lender and they'll hand over a $150,000 home loan to you like it's candy. After all, your mom was able to get a loan. Your dad was able to get a loan. Your grandparents got a loan. Why not you? The truth is, based on geographics, lenders operate in headquarters everywhere, so chances are pretty good they do not know you personally. All they have to work with are facts, a file that has your name on it. And when you think about it, that's what they need to just hand over $150,000 to a complete stranger. Simply put, lenders need to know that you're the kind of homeowner who will pay them back on time. But how do they do that? They review your credit. You've heard of credit for sure. So let's ask the big question. How is your credit? Is it good, bad, horrible? It makes all the difference. In fact, your credit score answers the simple question, are you going to make your payments? Can you make your payments? Have you been making your payments on time? Important stuff. Legally, the term credit, which is actually short for credibility, means the future prediction or promise to make a payment for goods or services. If your credit score is high, it shows that you're very likely to keep up on your promises. If it's very low, you're basically not very reliable. This puts it into perspective knowing that traditionally, a lender will give you a loan on a 30-year fixed mortgage. That means that a lender needs to know as much as possible that you'll make those mortgage payments for a total of 30 years. A lot of time to make payments on time, get it? Credit scores are funny in that many people have no idea what goes into them. How does someone figure your credit score? Where did the term credit score actually come from? Well, it was developed back in the early 1990s as a way to predict how many 90-day late payments you'll make in 24 months. Regulated by 3 credit bureaus in the United States: TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. Interestingly enough, each bureau figures those credit scores based on different models, which is why you often see different results between the 3. The one we'll focus on is called the FICO scoring model, created and utilized for Experian. Based on the model, your credit score will be defined by 5 categories: on-time payments, debt load ratio, credit history, public records, and credit inquiries. All of this makes up your credit score. What you have to understand is that all of these categories aren't created equal. The on-time payment category represents a healthy 35% of your score. So in other words, if you're making your payments for all of your accounts on time, chances are pretty good your credit score will be pretty high, and you're going to look darn good to a lender. The next most important category is the debt load ratio, which makes up 30% of your score. Now this is very simple, at least from a logical standpoint. Your debt ratio essentially is how much credit you already have versus how much you have to pay. We'll display it in numbers for you to better understand. If your debt load ratio is something like 1-to-1, guess what? You're not doing so well. It means you've maxed out all your credit cards, basically. You have no credit left and all of it to pay back. Not a situation you want to be in. However, if your debt ratio is more like 10-to-1, what does that say to a lender? You have a lot you can pay for with credit. You have multiple cards with thousands of dollars in credit and a minimal balance of like $40. That tells a lender that you're not only disciplined and don't shell out all your credit on all the candy bars you want, it also tells a lender that you're so reliable to have that much credit available in the first place. So the higher your debt load ratio, the more reliable you are. The more reliable you are, the higher your credit score. This is also why it's so important to go ahead and keep your zero balance credit cards instead of closing them, because you no longer want to use them. They're your proof that you're worthy of a $150,000 home loan. The next category is your credit history, at 15% of your score. It's a lot smaller of a category given the fact that all it shows is what you've done in the past. How many accounts did you have open in the past? Have you had any? Sure, what matters a bit more to a lender is what you're doing right now to prove that you're reliable, but it also matters as to what you've done before. So keep that in mind. What about public records? Not much of a big deal, but also keep an eye on it. This is a category representing only 10% of your score, and it may include anything that could affect your score, as well as your ability to get approved for any new accounts, such as foreclosures, judgments, tax liens, that sort of thing. And lastly, 10% of your credit score will revolve around inquiries. Surprising, right? Everyone assumes that credit inquiries are the credit score killers. Not so. Which is why only 10% of your score revolves around them. We'll get to why later. The important thing you need to know is this is what you have to keep in mind when knowing your credit score. It all revolves around that. What's great is the First-Time Homebuyers program offers a free credit evaluation, helping you get on track to get that score above the 640 mark, approving you for a home loan with a qualified lender. That begs the question, how do you improve your credit score? Here's the truth about credit repair. You have some control over what shows on your report. This is due to what has been known as the Fair Credit Reporting Act, an act brought on by our government to protect consumers from items on their credit report that may be inaccurate. Because, anyone can say you owe them money, and then it goes on your credit report, making it that much harder to get it off and get approved for other accounts. It's only fair to allow a consumer the ability to dispute such items if they are indeed false. The act was very necessary given that there was a test done to 1,000 random people reviewing their credit reports, only to find that half of them had something inaccurate on their scores. Outrageous! It undoubtedly proved that we needed the act to keep everything in check. What the Fair Credit Reporting Act does is allow you to dispute any information on your credit report to the bureaus, and by law, the bureaus have 30 days to conduct an investigation based on your accusation. Within those 30 days, each bureau must come up with one of 3 results. Sorry, the account is yours, you still have to pay. Or, our mistake, that account is not yours, we'll fix it for you. Or, The account never responded to our investigation, so we'll just remove the debt off your record. Thank you. Have a nice day. You heard correctly. By law, within those 30 days, if any of the credit bureaus don't even receive a response from the debtor in question, that credit bureau has to remove that item off your report. It will be as if you never owed the debt. You're shocked, I know. After all, these are the credit bureaus we're talking about. They're like machines, never doing wrong. Thing is that sometimes they can have the wrong information, and it's up to us to ensure they know that. This is especially the case for two people with the same name, such as Mike Jones Sr. and Mike Jones Jr. Come on, the bureaus can't possibly make such an error. Surprisingly, it happens a lot precisely because the bureaus always go by the physical address and not your social security number. That's why your dad of the same name can end up with faulty items on his credit report, all because you still live in the same house with the family. Trust us, it happens all the time. It's remarkable, really. All you need to do is write simple one-page letters to the credit bureaus. Stamp them, send them out. Wait 30 days. It's that easy. But you want to know what's shocking? Probably only 1% of us will actually do it. Truthfully, the First-Time Homebuyers program isn't about showing you how you can do this whole credit repair thing all on your own, although now you can. This is about educating you on just how these credit repair companies work. And trust us, you're going to want to know. At this moment, the largest and most successful credit repair company out there is Lexington Law, of which we're an affiliate. They charge $99 down after working on your report for around a week, and $99 a month from then on to fix your credit. And you can call them at 888-439-6888. But before you choke on the prices, know this. Legally, any credit repair company can't charge you anything for the first 5 to 15 days of working on your credit report, thanks to another legal act from the government, the Credit Repair Organizations Act, also known as CROA, enacted in 1999. This will help you determine which credit repair companies are scammers and which ones are legitimate, because by law, any credit repair company can't charge anything over $150 for reviewing and fixing your credit report. Anything charged up front, obviously, is also illegal. Additionally, there are state laws either allowing or prohibiting credit repairs, such as in Georgia, which won't allow any credit repair company from fixing someone's report unless providing a licensed attorney to do exactly that. Other states strict with credit repair include Oregon, South Carolina, and Colorado. And the reason why there are so many barriers to getting the service you need is because of all the scammers out there. So, basic rule of thumb. If credit repair companies charge anything up front before doing any work, they're scamming you. If credit repair companies charge $150 or more, they're scamming you. Remember that. Seems like a lot of headaches to get that credit repair fixed, but let's put in some perspective for you. You can fix your car, right? Great. In fact, take enough time, you can practically do all the body work for your sedan. You can study on replacing the engine and changing your oil, but ask yourself this valuable question. Why not just pay someone else to do it? Need to fix your tires? You go to Bell Tire. Need to get that oil changed? Go to Pennzoil. Everyone does it. It's practically an American institution. Well, guess what? The same can actually apply to credit repair. You can do it on your own. We just showed you how. Go online, get the addresses for credit disputes from each bureau, write the letters, send them. The question you need to ask yourself is this: is it worth it? Or do you want to just pay someone professional to do it for you? A very important question to ask. Want to know more? Click on the next video for the second part of Module 1. Again, we're glad you're with us on your journey to becoming a first-time home buyer. Thanks again.